Top 5 questions I have for the CFP committee. Just so that we know going forward, when we're watching games, how to measure these things. For example, number 5, how can we at home measure game control? Like to know that, of what the metric of game control is, so that I can say with confidence if my playoff eligible team is controlling a game or not. I'd just like to know what the metric is.
It's made up.
Yeah.
You can make it whatever you want to. It's a completely made up thing that they created back in 2014 to justify why the teams that they wanted to be in certain places were in those places versus the others. You don't hear it every week. You hear it sparingly, but when they need something to hang on to, it's game control. So it's a totally BS made up statistic. I don't believe in it whatsoever as an actual thing, and I think it's just a fun term they made up to justify what they wanted to do anyways.
Number 4, when does a ranked win matter or not matter?
It should matter. It's a really more complicated question than it seems, because a team that could be ranked 5th early in the year because of just whatever, then is out of the rankings like an A&M.
Again, and you're making my point for having this at the end so that you can go back and look and say, hey, they beat Texas A&M. Was that impressive? That was the first, leak in the boat of a sinking ship, right? So, again, those are the things that, kind of point out that this system is quite flawed.
Yeah, Paul, I had Aggie friends bragging about beating the Miami Hurricanes earlier this year.
Yeah, again, you know what that game was? That was just a stick fight. That's all that was,
I remember from watching last night, did they cite TCU as having 4 top 25 wins, or did they have them at 2?
I didn't listen to it. I didn't watch it. I just got the transcript.
I read the transcript, and he never mentioned it in the transcript when he was asked about TCU. Now, somebody like Reese Davis asked him about it, and then in that word salad.
Well, the reason why I ask, the word salad BS answer that he gave. Reason why I ask is I don't know what they cite, because it's very simple. I mean, they either count top 25 wins that they were top 25 and will always be top 25 wins, like because they were ranked at the time, or they don't. And I don't know. I feel like we could find an answer to that question, but I'm not sure which one they use.
But do they use them? Sometimes it feels like they use both of them, simultaneously. Depending on who you're talking about. Again,
almost like when they need to do something to explain why they do, they come up with some way that they don't always use to do that. It's almost like it's all BS, and they already know what they want to do, and they just come up with fun little terms like game control or body clocks. Remember that? Body clocks? Well, we got to penalize this team because this team lost, but they had to travel 2 time zones. Do y'all remember that crap in year number 1? They actually did that, and we let them skate on that pretty much. I mean, I don't know what we can do. Not like we can go hold these dudes hostage or anything, but it's another arbitrary made-up thing. So when does a ranked win matter? When they need it to. There's the answer to your question.
Yeah. Number 3, why does playing from behind matter so much if the team wins? That's the first time I heard playing from behind.
Well, pretty soon they're going to come up with, they trailed too many times in the second half.
But if the team won, I mean, it
doesn't matter.
Yeah. There are coaches. Jim Grove's on this thing. Like, it happens. You trail. I don't know. It's elitism. They're trying to figure out every which way a team can be elite, and it just doesn't make sense. Like, why does that matter if they win?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it does.
Yeah,
it doesn't, Paul. Like none of this matters. Like it doesn't matter. There's no answer because they're just going to do what they want to do anyways. And so this will matter when it needs to matter for Clemson to get in, but for TCU, it's not going to matter.
Yeah. Number 2, wouldn't a computer analysis help? Like, could you have those things?
Can you have a computer analysis that's still not human?
Well, yeah. I mean, you put the numbers in. I mean, the human puts the numbers in.
If you include the rankings, the top 25s,
that's just information.
It's just information.
It's not human opinion. It's, hey, this is the number 3 team in the country. They
According
scored 17 points. No. Well, it's got to come from somewhere. I mean, what are we going to have a robot just start a playoff on its own without any input? I mean,
you can take AP and coaches poll rankings out of it and say, here are the records of the teams. They are 7-0. Here are the records of the teams that they played. Here are the statistics of the teams they played. And you put those numbers in and leave the rankings out and then find out what really is going on.
Didn't we have a computer system called the BCS?
Yeah.
Yep. And even that was controversial.
Yeah, but it was only controversial because they stopped at 2, right? Had they kept going, then maybe there would have been no controversy.
Well, then between 8 and 9 or 12 and 13. No,
I would actually,
much rather do
at
that.
this point, I mean, I don't know, because I think you can probably flub formulas too to probably favor it a certain way or not. But I would much rather hear a computer explain it than any of these figureheads that they keep trotting out there. Those guys go up there and just BS their way through the 20 minutes, whatever they got to do. I'd much rather hear the voice of TikTok explain it to me because at least I know that, or sure, I guess, yeah, whatever. Anything other than just seeing, an old commissioner go up there and lie about having watched all these games and lie about whatever arbitrary statistic they're using this week and lie, and maybe not even outright lie, but just mislead, because that's what they know it. We know it. We all know it, and it doesn't matter. They're going to do it again next week.
Yeah. And number 1, can you actually envision a playoff without Bama?
Yeah, absolutely could.
Can they do it? Can those people in that room sit in the room and go, well, maybe Alabama doesn't have to be in this thing. Maybe we should punish them for a loss.
That person will be kicked out of the room.
And it's because, look, I get that, like, some losses are better than other losses. And if you lose to a really bad team, then that should be something. But every loss should at least punish a team somehow. And that's where Alabama seems to skate by, in that no matter what they do, as long as it's only one loss, then they're not punished. And even Ohio State has been punished in the past. Like,
it would be interesting one year
It's
to
also
see.
been very much
Yeah,
hated too.
Yeah.
But if a Kansas State ever happened to an Alabama one year, let's just say somebody just busted them up, 38-3, there would still be conversation about whether or not that knocked them out of the college football playoff chase.
Alabama gets the benefit of the doubt no matter what, and they will until Saban finally retires. And even then, I don't know, maybe there will be an aura with whoever the replacement is to where they're just not allowed to be left out more than like once every 10 years or something. But that's also a credit to Alabama being as sturdy and good as they are. And I want to make it very clear, having said that, I don't have a problem with the top 4. If you think those are the top 4 teams in the country, by all means. I'm not sitting here saying TCU has to be top 4. This is all BS. There's more than 4 undefeated teams right now, and it's all going to come out in the wash. My problem's not with that. My problem is with the bogus explanations and just the outright just word mush that they peddle on this TV show week in and week out. Just be open about it. You don't think TCU's that good because they're not in the SEC or whatever. Just say it, because at least you would be honest and we could go, you know what? It's messed up, but at least you're at least being honest about it. That's the problem I have, is when they go up there and he start mumbling over, well, they were behind at one point and they had to come back. Like, that's some damning thing for a football team to have come back to win a game or two. I don't know. That's also called resilience. So what do I know? But yeah, just get rid of the word salad and the lame explanations and just tell us this is who we want in the playoff, and we'd all at least respect that, because I don't respect the way that they try to talk around what is blatantly obvious. But, as far as the teams go, I'm not gonna argue that after this first week. They're undefeated and deserving teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
there you go.
Paul, very nice timing of it. Very well.